Hello everyone, and welcome back to a new episode of Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup. We're playing an ogre gladiator of Uskayu to try to get this Uskayu win, and we're about to head down into Lair. Oh, how exciting! A volcano on Lair 1. I've had a few deaths somewhat recently to Lair 1 volcanoes. And here's a black mamba. It's not cool at all. Let's just leave him alone. The threats you can see, don't want to deal with that either. The threats you can run into in a volcano can be are often not too bad, but for a character who's only on layer 1, which is like the earliest you can ever run into a volcano, well, you can run into it in kind of mid to late dungeon. I'm not sure quite how mid to late, so maybe we could have seen one in dungeon by now. I'm not sure. But anyway, for many characters who encounter a volcano, the threats there are just not that bad. But when you get one this early, they can be quite dangerous, and worse, you can underestimate them because you're like, oh, I've been to lots of volcanoes and they weren't any trouble. And you forget that, like, hey, well, you weren't on layer 1 when you did that last volcano that was super easy, you know? And so the threats that you're used to thinking of as not too big a deal can be quite a big deal indeed. All right, so I think Stomp is pretty good against Blink Frogs. If we get a couple of them surrounding us, yeah, let's go ahead and Stomp. I didn't see the Stomp animation at all, but I guess it happened. Oh my god, I hate ogres so much. I thought this was going to be an easy game. It's not at all. Oh my gosh. All right, well, I'm not dead. But I don't have any heal wounds, really? That's actually a surprise to me. I thought I had some. I could try curing. What else could I do? I don't have blinking. I forgot to identify my scrolls. This is going to be the end of me, isn't it? All right, let's look around. There's a few more. I thought there were only 3 blink frogs, but it looks like there were 4. Oh no, there were 3, and I just didn't kill one earlier when I thought I did. He just blinked away or something. So I could try a potion of curing, but I think we're taking more damage than that every turn. On the other hand, like if I do anything else, I'll probably just get hit anyway. I could try a random potion. Maybe it's heal wounds, right? Well, actually, let's double check. Is that true? Have I discovered heal wounds yet? I've not yet discovered heal wounds. So one of these random potions, I'm going to try Q, see what it is. It was heal wounds. Okay. Well, that bought us a turn or two. Let's quaff agility now before things get worse. And maybe some ambrosia? Now that we have a moment. I should have quaffed the ambrosia before the agility, I think. Alright, that didn't heal us much, but it did help a little. And we got one of the frogs down. I could try another ambrosia here. Or curing. Let's just take some curing real quick. Okay, we got Stomp back if we want it. Okay, jeez. That was, there were some problems with how I handled that, I suppose we could say. What happened? I saw a scroll somewhere, right? Where is it? Oh, it's way up there. Okay. Yeah, so the ogre's enormous HP pool just really does not make up for the terrible defenses. Like those blink frogs were absolutely wrecking me. What? I wasn't even paying attention. It was distant. Okay. So it's probably like around here somewhere. I don't really want to mess with Basilisk, although I'm kind of going to have to, aren't I? Fine. Haven't heard any updates from the volcano recently. Oh, it must be in here. What in the world is all this? Okay, it's not in here, guys. Okay, how dangerous is all this stuff? The jellies and the oozes, not too bad. There's a slime creature and perhaps more. Where is the slime creature? This one, okay. I mean, I could use a Rod of Ignition. It would do a lot of damage. But it'd be a lot of damage to mostly inconsequential threats, and in the meantime, it would make a lot of noise. So I think we're just going to tab all this. And react as necessary. Yeah, paralyzed them all. That's cool. Sadly, though, what happened to the slime creature? Did I kill him already? Yes. Sadly, I'm going to have to pass on attacking all that stuff while it's paralyzed, because I need them to keep filing into the doorway. I don't want to move north. So now they're all sharing their pain, but I still don't know really how it works. So that all was fine, but there's nothing in here, and we're still looking for the volcano, which I thought I had heard being pretty nearby up here. Is it over here? I don't think so. It's distant. I would have noticed it, right? Yeah. Distant from there, that's weird. Maybe it's in like this area, this kind of weird curved shape. Let's come down here and check that out. Suspicious battle axe. There it is. I don't know of any volcano vault that has a battle axe in it. I don't know. It just seemed weird to find one on the ground when I was in an area that I thought was probably the volcano, and so it seemed suspicious to me, but not for any real particular reason. Let's just drop a little bit of stuff on the way in. Our unidentified scrolls that I keep forgetting to read. Actually, what scrolls have I not yet found? Maybe I can just read those now. I've found teleportation. I haven't found noise, but it wouldn't be such a disaster to read some noise right now. Ah, they changed the floor reading. That's nice. So this was Elliptic's suggestion, rather than what it used to be, where it would just add letters for everything on the floor. So that, like, A would be the first set of scrolls and B would be the second. They changed it, so you have to press comma to toggle whether you mean stuff on the floor or stuff in your inventory, which is nice because it was too easy to accidentally read something off the floor or whatever. Or like if you read the thing on the floor that was on A, or if you read like an inventory item labeled A and it's your last one, and then you read A again, it'll be a floor item. Normally you have a lot of consistency where like A is not going to become a different item. So I appreciate this change. All right, we found vulnerability, random uselessness. Oh, they changed the text for vulnerability. It says MR/2 now. What did it used to say? Definitely something different. Maybe it said vuln? Or MR- or something? Okay, well now they're being more clear that it cuts your MR in half. Found fear, so that's one we could take in with us. Enchant armor. The cloak, I guess, since I might want to take off the hat for my horns. Normally I would read the second one right now, but since we're about to head into a volcano where we might find a robe or a hat of fire resistance, I'm going to let that wait for just a minute. E was amnesia. Let's forget deflect missiles. So there you go. We didn't even waste the spell levels after all. We didn't even waste a Scroll of Amnesia, because we were going to read that one whether we had memorized Deflect Missiles or not. And it would have been wasted if we hadn't memorized a spell that we want to forget. So I could wait here for the... I think I will actually wait for the MR over 2 to go away. Okay, fine. In we go. So, like I said, Layer 1 Volcano, very dangerous. Gonna want to keep the option of retreat in mind, keep our potions of resistance and of all these buffs ready on the hotbar, so to speak, for if anything goes wrong. Okay, there's a lava snake coming. Lava snakes are dangerous, but fragile. The main problem is that they have a ranged attack. Which can do quite a lot of damage when you have 5 armor, 6 now, I guess, and no fire resistance. So I kind of want to lure them. I was hoping to stay out of his line of sight. Okay, that actually didn't hurt too bad. We one-shot the fire bat, and there goes that guy. Okay. Normally I would be resting here, but the volcanoes often have a mechanic to encourage you to hurry up, and I don't know whether this specific volcano does or not, so I'm going to push on a little bit. Like they'll close off loot rooms or something gradually by spreading lava around or something. So I saw that door over there, obviously, but I'm just exploring to make sure there's not something else we're missing. Is this the one that's like a tomb sort of area, or what? Okay, so there's a gate here saying, hey, if you had trouble out there, you should probably leave, because it's about to get worse. Okay, yeah. 2 mottled dragons and a lindworm. That's all pretty scary, honestly. I'm going to shut the door. That's clear. Wow, this sticky flame burns through a lot of health. And I could leave, but I think with resistance and, say, might, we could do okay in there. And there's a lot of... Just killing those guys is a fair bit of experience. I don't know. This is a little greedy, I think. Maybe I shouldn't. How much haste do I have? 2? Agility might be better than... Would probably be better than might, actually, because the main thing we need is to dodge the sticky flame. Our damage output is already pretty good. And then resistance for when it actually hits us anyway. I think I'm going to go for it. So let's quaff agility, quaff. Resistance is on capital D, yes. Open door. They all forgot about me. And I want to try to get them in the doorway. I'm having trouble hitting them. You know what? Let's quaff a berserk as well. This is like as buffed up as we can get, really. Agility, haste. I thought berserk hadn't worked because everything around me looks the same color, but that's because it was already red. Agility, haste, might, and resist. So if we still die here, we definitely should not have entered this area. Fought these guys at all. Alright, so we one-shot the mottled dragon once we finally hit him. We one-shot the lindworm and got some paralysis. Okay. So I hope there's not a lot more enemies like that in this area, because we really just used up all of our... Alright, 1 gargoyle I think is not such a big deal. A mottled dragon with him is a bit more of an issue. Can I disintegrate him? Maybe. I'll give it a try. Yeah, it did quite a bit of damage to him. We're going to back up here to rest before we fight the model dragon. One model dragon, I think we can hopefully handle without a consumable. Yes, great. What is all this? We got a new Berserk, that's good. You often find those in volcanoes. I would really love that leather armor, but it doesn't fit, so there you go. So up here, there's probably another gargoyle. No, molten gargoyle, okay. I'm going to try and pull him back so that whatever else he's with doesn't wake up. And I could try, perhaps, another potion of might or something. I'm not sure I need it, but I'm not sure I don't either. I think we'll be okay. Let's just double check. In the molten gargoyle, he has bolted magma. I'm gonna go check real quick. Molten gargoyle. How much damage does this guy do? So he's speed 10, of course, we knew that. His attack damage is 20 with 7 to 13 of fire. Not that much. The main threat is bolt of magma, which is 3d15. Yikes. But we're an ogre, so we have a lot of HP. I think we should be okay. No, you're not getting away with that, buddy. You gotta come at least up to the doorway. Okay, no problem there. Oh, I forgot to butcher the model dragon. Normally I don't care about model dragon armor. And I was like, oh, I'm hungry, but I can't eat model dragons. But I might be able to get a dragon hide, which for an ogre is quite a coup. Even if it is a crummy old type like modeled. It's too bad. More potions of might. Alright, that's good. We can continue to use might for quite some time to deal with our problems. Okay, so we survived the volcano. We blew a big chunk of potions, but that's okay. We got some potions back. Did we get our Berserk back? Yeah, we did. So that volcano, I think, had the main effect of trading one potion of resistance for one potion of might. I don't know. Something like that, anyway. Let's grab this back. Oh, I don't need to pick it up anymore. I can just read it off the ground. And I'll enchant up this cloak again. Let's just double check that there's not already better stuff lying around before I enchant it up. There's not. Okay. Read capital T on lowercase j. Yeah, so I'm going to feel a bit bad about the fact that I maybe could have had some model dragon armor, which I think I happily would have made. I want dex every time. Dex, dex, dex. And, you know, model dragon armor is not great, but it's better than a robe. Hey. I don't like spiny frogs at all. And as an ogre, with our inability to wear like plate or chain or anything reasonable, dragon armor is that much more important. So I should have at least checked to see if I could get some, you know, but I just wasn't thinking about it. I don't like the large surface area that I'm exposing in this fight, but it turns out it was fine. A new ring. Try it on over my ring of intelligence. Resist corrosion. Sure. It's not amazing, but you know, we might run into something that wants to corrode us, so. Alright, done with layer 1. Now, I'll have Control O. Yeah, swamp. So all the layer branches are somewhere between layer 2 and layer 4 now, where it used to be layer 3 and layer 6. But now that layer is only 6 levels, we could run into them this early. And the main threat is, of course, that they have some monsters guarding the entry vault that are more difficult than ordinary layer monsters. I guess this is a clear buff for characters who want to dive to a G vault. I'm having some trouble with this guy. What if I throwing that at him? Yes. Got him in the net. There we go. We killed him. And the poison is like practically going to kill us, but it's not actually going to kill us, so we can just go rest. Let's rest downstairs. It's safer down here, actually, with that wolf wandering around. So, again, like, Black Mambas, ogres, everything is just bad. Like, I don't know. I'm used to having so much more EV. My defenses are all just abysmal for lair. Komodo dragons actually swim quickly, don't they? I don't know why all these lizard-type monsters swim so fast. Some of them it makes sense. Like, yeah, okay, frogs. Got it. Frogs swim fast. Makes sense. But, like, Komodo dragons? They swim that fast in real life? I don't know. Maybe. You can see I was not, like, consulted on the flavor design. Because I have no idea about anything. I'd like to train more invocations, so, like, we get better, longer paralysis or something, but we're not really using this guy's abilities that much, and I have so many other things that are very important to train. Well, 3 other things, right? Fighting, dodging, maces. So that was nice, right? I mean, it paralyzed them all there, and we could finish them off. But on the other hand, it was just a bunch of sheep, so, like, who cares? I am happy to keep getting more potions of resistance, though. Those are a valuable resource when you can't wear, like, armor pieces that would have resistance on them. But that reminds me, we could go buy one of these things, huh? Amulet of Magic Regeneration. Not very useful, honestly. It sort of goes without saying that I'm running away from those Death Yaks and not trying to get their attention. Death Yaks are just scary business. And, you know, maybe with Berserk, we could take on 1 or 2 of them. But there's no real need to yet. And there might be more than 2, and there's just so many reasons that that's not a great plan. Speaking of things that are dumb, I've been just floating some scrolls of Identify for no reason. I forgot that I had them. Degeneration, pass. Scroll of Noise, pass. Alright, well, that is very useful. Yeah, I still don't really understand how to play Uskayo, how much invocations to train, or, like, I don't know, how to make use of the abilities. Like, I think I understand, like, when they're useful, how to apply them in a way that they are useful, but I don't know how to balance, using up the piety on them. Oh, I thought this was going to be a longer corridor. Is there a longer corridor? Yes, over here. So let's go that way. One next to me is an ordinary yak. Fine. I can just duck into here. My Rod of Ignition should do a pretty good job with these guys. Although I really want them to line up a bit better. I guess that'll do. Yes. So it's not doing much to the Death Yak, but it's getting us Piety and killing... Oh, there's 2 Death Yaks now. That's great. That's really great. I love Death Yaks. Okay. So, it did a fair chunk of damage to them by hitting them each 4 times. And now we can use Line Pass to neutralize them a bit. But boy, Line Pass does not last long, huh? Okay, well, let's Line Pass back to the other side. I could Stomp, I guess. I don't really want to. Let's try a Wand of Lightning here. Why is... Huh. I should be able to hit this guy a couple times, right? Hit the Death Yak, hit the Yak. Not that impressive, I guess. Another Death Yak coming. That is probably too many. I would like to kill this one before I go, but maybe that's too optimistic. Oh, he walked next to me and then got paralyzed? Well, thank you, Skyu. That's very kind of you. That was a free kill on a Death Yak. And the 2 Line Passes were a big help as well. So that was pretty cool. And I see that Yak coming up behind me, but I'm planning to use some sort of God ability. Let's just try a Stomp. Didn't do much. But did a little, I guess. Yeah, sure. Woo! Dance Dance Revolution. And we can just mow down all those river rats, no big deal. So this makes me kind of want to train more Invocations because the paralysis was very useful, but if, say, the paralysis had happened 1 tile away from where it did, it would have been completely useless. It wouldn't have lasted long enough for me to kill the Death Yak. I would have had to walk towards him, and in that time he would have like woken up and then probably attacked me. So Invocations will increase the duration of that paralysis, as well as increasing the power of my other abilities. And presumably the duration of Pain Bond as well. I'm not sure exactly. But it's like everything else is still super crucial. I guess Invocations is cheap. It'll train up pretty well. It's obviously like inefficient to have, well, I don't know it obviously, but it actually is inefficient to be training 4 skills at once. You know, in theory, the optimal thing to do is there's some skill that's best at any given moment, and that's the only one you should train. But that involves switching back and forth like every time you kill a monster or whatever. Like you have to switch very quickly, very often. I don't know. I think it's like just fine to train a few useful skills. Let's try to do layer 3 this video. Get half of layer out of the way. And let's not walk into the teleport trap then. I'm pleased that we were able to take out those Death Yaks earlier. That was, these centaurs are a bit spooky. Anyway, the Death Yaks were a big threat, I guess, and taking them out is evidence that our character is somewhat capable. Ring of Wizardry. No thanks. I'd rather wear Resist Corrosion. I mean, it could be fine. We could learn Apportation or something. I mean, actually train Apportation and be able to cast it, but it's just like not that good. And, I mean, I could go buy that Ring of Resist Cold. It would be better than Resist Corrosion. I hate eels. Oh, but I have Flame, don't I? That, like, typically almost instantly kills eels. Sometimes it does kill them instantly. The Steam is a real problem for them because they have such low hit points and armor they count on their evasion to dodge things, and steam irresistibly hits them and covers a large area, so that it's hard for them to run away from as well. Yeah, I don't really want to fight this guy, obviously. That's why I'm running away. At full health, I think it would be fine, but right now, not so great. Hippogriff probably would be fine, but there's no sense risking it. Now we can take the Komodo Dragon. I'm so bad at ogres. I don't know. I'm probably also just bad at crawl at the moment, having not played for a while, as I mentioned. But I did find this little hidey hole. That was the key, the crux of this combat, was realizing that you can just hide in the corner. Anytime you can do that, usually pretty good to do it. So this looks kind of like, I don't know, swamp entrance maybe? Maybe it's just some trees, but I bet it's swamp. Can I? Yeah, I can get to my hidey hole again. Looked like I didn't have to. Since I was able to kill monsters before they could even get to the hidey hole, but that's fine. Still don't like black mambas at all. They do so much poison damage. So if your evasion is low, I mean, there's something that heavy armor characters, I think, have more of an issue with. I'm not sure, though. The damage that poison does might scale based on how much damage it does pre-armor. I'm not really sure. Anyway, I normally like to just dodge all these guys' attacks and not worry too much about them. Okay. I don't like this guy at all. Maybe I should use the Rod of Ignition on him. I'm not sure how well it's going to do, but it's worth a try. Oh, it does a ton of damage. Get out of here, you stupid snake. Keep eating. No. So that's a recent change that has had some teething problems. Is there has always been, that is to say, or I don't know about always, but for a long time, there's been a prompt when you're doing a multi-turn action of putting on or taking off armor. It's like, hey, there's a monster in sight. Do you want to keep taking off your clothes? And you can say yes or no. And eating chunks or bread or something is a multi-turn action as well, but there was no way to cancel that. So recently, that was added. But there have been a lot of problems with it, and I don't know if they're fixed all yet or what. I haven't followed it very closely. But there were problems like, while you're in the middle of eating, you get hungry, and it's like, do you want to keep eating? You're hungry now. It's like, yeah, probably, yeah. Seems like a good idea. Stuff like that. Some trouble with the keep eating prompt. Okay, so here, I'm hoping Uskayo is, yeah, there we go, going to help somehow. That helped a lot. Flattened him like a pancake. I wasn't sure whether Uskayo's help was going to be in the form of paralysis or what, but the sheep bites the plant. Oh, I see, they're trying to get through to me, sure. Alright, that went pretty well. And we're up to 5 pips of piety. Could try grand finale, but need some more. Ooh. I guess I'll enchant the hat. Oh, yikes, a lot of wolves. You need a lot more invocations or a lot more piety before grand finale becomes practical. I should actually be using my rod here. There we go. Yeah, these wolves are not going to know what hit them. Alright, see you later, wolves. Oh, did I start a forest fire? Yeah, nice. They made that easier to do somewhat recently. It used to be you had to target a fireball directly at a tree and not like right next to it in order to set it on fire, and like nobody ever did that because you can't target walls with fireball. You only target the squares next to them. Like why would trees be different? But they were. So now a fireball or a lightning bolt that hits a tree sets it on fire. And so I guess that applies to the rod of ignition as well. So there you go. I'm amazed, by the way, that still at 0 Evo, Rod of Ignition is just so good. Like it's handling layer 3 for us just fine. Killed like 5 wolves or something, 4 or 5 wolves. But we're done with layer 3, so we're halfway through layer now. And it hardly feels like we've even gotten started, so I think I like the layer shortening. We'll see, I guess. But like I said, we're just not going to go any further than this episode. We're going to finish up layer hopefully in the next episode. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.